This is Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guest is Sharon Morgan of the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition, and she is here with a fabulous board to talk about the upcoming projects that you're working on. Ongoing, I guess I should say.
It is ongoing.
Right.
Multi-year. We started planning and doing the background work for it almost all of last year. The project is being launched this year, and we'll get the final report on it, on one part of it, next year, as well as continuing with the inventory into next year.
Okay, so you want to break that down for us a little bit?
I will. The coalition's mission is to increase participation and service of the arts in the county. And we looked at what we were doing in terms of grants, and that was great, but we wanted to do more. So we're participating in a project called Arts, Culture, and Prosperity, really taking a hard look at what the economic role of the arts and culture are to individual artists, to organizations, and maybe more importantly, into the overall economic development of the region that we serve, which is Yamhill County. So the project is one project with two parts. The first part is a cultural asset inventory. We will be looking for a broad array of artists and culture bearers, both professional and non-professional. For the first time, the inventory will be both in English and in Spanish. You can take it online or on paper. You can be a professional in one category. Maybe you're a professional musician, but you're a hobby crocheter, and so that's part.
So this is really geared toward anybody can
Yes.
go online and fill out a survey.
Yes,
This is
yes.
what I do. This is how I make art.
Right.
Or am culturally
Right.
active.
And we hope that that will help
Oh, I
artists and
see.
organizations to network, to collaborate, to find out who each other are. And if I'm having a wedding for somebody and I want a string trio, I could go online.
There you go.
And I could find, oh, here are 5 string trios in Yamhill County. I think I'll choose one of them to play at the wedding. So that's going to be an ongoing part, and will be posted on our website, yamhillcountyculture.org. And as I said, it will be in both English and Spanish, and the Spanish parts will be translated into English and vice versa.
Okay.
The second part of it, which is really exciting because it's underway right now, is the Arts, Economics, and Prosperity Study, which we're doing in partnership with the Oregon Arts Commission and a national organization, Americans for the Arts. Throughout 2016, we will be doing 2 kinds of surveys. All of the nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and those organizations that are not necessarily nonprofits, for instance, Parks and Recreation,
Oh, of course, yeah.
Rotary Club, which sponsors the Small Film Festival, the Downtown Association, which does Alien Festival and Turkey Rama. The organizations themselves will have a survey of what they spend in Yamhill County
Okay.
to do their work. How much paint does gallery theater buy in Yamhill County? Where do they get their wood? It's it from here. How many salaries, if there are paid staff, even part-time staff, so that we have a picture of what they're generating in terms of dollars for Yamhill County businesses. The second part are exit surveys of audience. It's a one-page survey. It's anonymous. You put your zip code so we know whether you're local or you came from Timbuktu. We've started with Driving Miss Daisy, the play that opened in early January. By the end of this year, we will have sent Americans for the Arts a minimum of 800 exit surveys.
Wow.
And then they forward them to one of the departments at Georgia Tech that crunch all the numbers. Their former surveys have shown that the arts and culture generate $135 billion.
I think that's lovely. Oh, my.
And that's without even having our numbers.
Right.
So we're really excited to participate in this.
That's amazing. I mean, this is such a, a big thing to be part of. To say we're going to take this on and everybody has to, play their little part in it, but in the end, now how readily are people filling these out?
Well, what we're doing with the survey at Gallery, we're putting one clipboard with a survey on each row. So
Oh.
we're not everybody, but we're having people come up in the lobby and saying, well, I want to fill one
Oh,
out
good.
too.
Okay, so you are getting.
So they're filling out such things as, yes, I went to dinner. There were 5 of us in our party, and we went to dinner beforehand, and we spent this, and we came early enough that we could do some shopping down on Main Street.
Perfect, I see.
And and we came from Seattle, and so we're staying overnight, and we're going to, then we'll have breakfast in the morning. So it's those kind of figures. But for local people, some local people go out to dinner, or they go to a wine bar afterwards, and that
I always do.
and that counts. And
Yeah.
some people. One of the surveys, there's a place for other that they spend. I bought flowers for the actors.
Right.
So
Perfect.
So it's going to capture things, and the whole thing, Lynda, is that we really hope it will change the conversation around what arts and culture really means in the community. Not only is it entertainment and education and beauty and other good things, but it's also small business and entrepreneurship.
Right, and I think a lot of times people don't really have a sense of the economic impact that
Right.
arts can be, and so it's easy to sort of shove it under the that's just the fluff of life. Well, not really. No,
No.
because it's part of what makes a community viable and attractive.
And if people come for a non-arts kind of event, if there's an arts event that attracts them or a gallery that is showing some local artwork, oftentimes what convinces people to move to a community or to invest in a second home is the fact that it's vibrant and there's stuff to do all the time, not just business or good schools and good health, which are also things that Yamhill County has, but there are and interesting people. I may not be an artist, but I really like what artists bring into my life.
But you're a very fascinating person, just in general, and you are, in fact, an artist. You're a performing artist.
Well, I may be, but someone else
Right.
may not.
It's interesting because so many times we'll interview somebody on this show, and I'll say, well, how did you happen to come to Yamhill County? Well, my wife and I were driving through, and we saw downtown so cute, and then we did this or that, or we were here for IP&C, and it really is over and over, it's the charm and the art and the people and the
Right.
events that really draw people in. It is the artistic sensibility, I think, that we have here in this county.
Right. And we want to really expose that and have data-driven facts and the dollar amounts so that people, I think people are going to be really stunned.
I think so too. I'm so excited.
Happily stunned.
I know.
Which will make it more possible for our local organizations to compete for grants from the Community Foundation, from Spirit Mountain, wherever they may be seeking things. And it will also encourage them, if they have those extra dollars, to look at what they might do in terms of improving their facilities, if they want to bring in something that's a traveling or a special teacher, or present in a different kind of way. It will help raise the quality of the arts that we have here, as well as celebrating the arts that are already in place.
Now, is this project, is it being done simply by people who are paid to do it? Are you looking for volunteers, I guess is what I'm asking.
We are looking for volunteers. In fact, I'm really hoping that we'll be able to find a club or a department of the University of Linfield, maybe a George Fox for that part of the county, that will take it on. And we have some grant money and some contributions that have been made to support this so that we can give them an honorarium to be at the farmers market when it happens this summer, to be at IP&Z, to help with the audience surveys. And that's a fairly laborious but not an unpleasant task if you like people.
Right.
So we'll give an honorarium to them, a substantial one, for that. And for the cultural inventory, of course, we want all kinds of individual culture bearers, people who don't even think of themselves as being culture bearers.
I love that term, culture bearer.
Well,
You know?
if you have stories, if you're a historian, if you know a lot about Lincoln County, one fascinating person I talked to knew a lot about how the cemeteries, where the private family cemeteries are, and who some of those people are.
Isn't that
Well, that's
interesting?
part of our culture.
It absolutely
and
is.
so that will go in the inventory. So what I think will be important about that is that writers and filmmakers will become more interested in what is there as original sources for them
right.
in terms of, and the Historical Society is a great partner with that and will make all of their archives and records available. As will the other small museums in Willamina and Sheridan and in Newburgh's museums and the Cultural Center. We're just right at the cusp.
This is so exciting, really exciting. Now, I have a question for you. In terms of people who may not be very computer literate, and I know there are some people out there, especially perhaps older people, are you asking people if they'd like to go around and maybe sort of like take that little oral history or
Sure.
something like that?
We have volunteers. We're setting up community teams for each community so that there's somebody you can call. You can fill it out on paper, and then it will get translated into
Sure.
into the database,
Sure.
so that it will be searchable. But libraries will have a hard copy
Okay.
record. We're not going to do what was earlier done by the Yamhill County Arts Alliance, where I think Marilyn Warwick's published those beautiful
Oh,
books.
my goodness, yes.
They become outdated.
They do.
The coalition is committed to annually updating the inventory, both online and contacting the people that have filled them out on paper. One professional artist asked this. She said, well, Sharon, are you going to include, and her terms were, those little ladies who crochet antimacassars that sit on the back of your toilet. And I said to her, well, it'll become very clear in the inventory that you're professional. But I don't consider necessarily crocheted toilet paper covers as a significant art form, but knowing how to crochet is an important kind of handicraft. And there may be people who will want to know who those crochet people are. So it isn't what they crochet, it's the fact that they have that skill.
They can. Sharon, I really want to thank you for being here today. I can't believe how fast the time has flown, but I really appreciate you coming and keeping us abreast of this, because this is a really exciting project, so thank you.
Great. Well, and I just want to encourage people, if they want to get in touch with me or with the coalition for input, to become a volunteer, to let us know of any event that they sponsor, even though they're not a nonprofit organization.
Sure.
Now is the time.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.